The Wartales.
Alright, in today's video, I am going to show you how to start the game with all max level companions. It's just going to take you a couple of hours of your time. And of course, you will also need the Wartales Tavern. So we are month 3, day 21. 13 hours into the campaign. I apologize if you don't have the Wartales Tavern. Do yourself a favor and go out and get it. But yeah, if you don't have it, this is obviously not going to work for you. This took me about 4 hours. Let's see how exactly. 4 hours and 34 minutes to do it. You can actually do it a little bit quicker based on your starting options, which starting options you choose, but I'll show you the method that I went through to do this. All right, you can pick any one of these groups, these starting groups, but the one that's going to have the most benefit, or the one that's going to make things the easiest, is the associates looking for a village where they can set up their tavern. This is because you start with the cooking pot, which is going to you'll be able to reduce the amount of food you're consuming each turn. And aside from that, the special mission that you get for the pathways will help you level up your trade and craftsmanship as you're going through this. So at least you'll get another little bit of a benefit to choosing the starting group. But like I said, you can choose any one of the groups. This group will just make it a little bit easier. And then if you want to do this as quickly as possible, you go with Cunning Fighters, because the 10% experience is going to translate... Oh, wait. You know what? Never mind. Experience gained in combat increased by 10%. So that's actually not going to help you at all. Now that I think about it, I thought it was just experience gained. Never mind. Don't worry about that. Pick whatever you want. Which is what I did anyway. I thought maybe this experience might... I mean, you could try it and test it out, but I don't think it's going to work. I thought it would save you about 10% of your time. Anyway, excellent at slap games is usually what I like to go with. And then these guys, the greediness far more developed than others is actually the one that I went with. I just felt like 1 gold wage is not going to make much of a difference. But if you want to max minute a little bit better, maybe eternal... Well, actually, no, don't go eternal dissatisfaction. Maybe carrying capacity would be a little bit better. But in any case, adaptive exploration. If you want to start with high-level companions in region locked, my recommendation is to make preparations to either go to the north and rescue the 2 companions that are in the jail there. They will power boost your party to high level. Or you can come out to the jail in the Balerian Archipelago, assuming that you have the Pirates of Balerian DLC, and you can rescue the lady that's out there, and she is extremely high level, and then you can start recruiting companions at a similar level. But this method will allow you to get your actual original crew members to max level as quickly as possible. Alright, so start in Tiltrin. I don't think we need to cover the first battle. It's pretty standard, but once you get through it, you want to head straight for Stromcap. So you can stop off at the stables, pick up a little bit of hemp, but you really don't have to. You can also stop by this wreckage and pick up a little bit of cloth. Again, you don't need to, but I mean, it doesn't hurt. Head to Stromcap, but you can stop off in here. But what you want to do before you do your first rest is just quickly scoot up to the woodcutters camp just north of Stromcap, and you want to go into the basement there and pick up the knowledge book that's there. Don't talk to the prisoners or volunteers that are in there, because if you do, it's gonna get you pulled into a whole other thing, which is going to trigger a battle, and you don't necessarily want to do that. But yeah, just quickly use the key that's hidden up at the top there go into the basement, get that skill book, because that knowledge point is going to be critical. You want to start with 2 knowledge points right away, which will allow you to pick up rationing and frugality right away, which reduces what the troop eats and what you have to pay the companions, which is important for what we're going to be doing here. All right. Next thing you want to do is purchase the tavern. Over the next couple of hours, this is essentially where you're going to be spending the bulk of your time, basically getting the whole thing in order and just upgrading it. You're not going to have to leave Stromcap. You just stay here in Stromcap, and we're going to be gaining money from the tavern as it grows. All right, step 2, strip down and sell all of your on-essentials. You don't need any of these weapons or armor. Like I said, you're not going to be leaving Stromcap, so there's no danger. You can also steal any items you think might be needed while you're resting. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is building the tavern up and continually resting here. But before we do that, we are going to go to step 3, which is to send all of our companions, including your pony, except for one, to the tavern. And then with that final crew member, you're going to recruit a random companion. You're going to sell his gear as well. And then you're going to send the 4th companion from your starting troop to the tavern as well.
Don't be fooled by these rags. Before becoming a...
Feel free to come back often. There's always...
Step 4, assign everyone as bouncers. And after that, you can just sort of get to work setting up and managing your tavern. And then rest in the camp to end the day. This should be pretty cheap. You shouldn't have to have a lot of food. You've just got 1 crew member. You've used strict rationing, and just place your crew member on the cooking pot, and you're not going to be consuming a lot of food at all, really. If you want to use a little bit more food and gain influence while you're resting, then have your companion sit at the campfire. If you want to make something that you can sell, you can make your companion a tinkerer and have him sit at the tinkerer's workbench, and then every turn you'll be gathering a couple of raw materials that can be sold for a little bit of profit. So I'm not sure exactly which one is the best, but when I did this, I just put my random crew member here on the cooking pot, and yeah, it barely cost any food to get through this. Step 5,
Looking
purchase
for work
supplies
around
or
here,
anything that you
especially since all
need
the
from the
fighting started
vendors in
across the border.
Stromcat. Manage the tavern, end the day, and repeat. This will take about 300 or so rests. I can say that pretty much definitively based on the amount of North Country Ratatouille and creme brulee, which, by the way, can also be sold for profit, because if you're making those in the tavern, if you're making a specialty dish in the tavern, every rest you'll be sent one to the troop. And each one of these, the creme brulees, are worth 14 gold. The North Country Ratatouille is worth 15 gold. So they can be sold for a nice tidy little profit. And that should more than cover the costs of your crew members. Once you've got your tavern sort of in a decent state, what you'll want to do is you'll want to pull out 100 coins every now and again. And yeah, essentially just make withdrawals from the tavern whenever you feel it's appropriate. Once your tavern's fully upgraded, you can pretty much do this every single turn to maximize. You'll have to skip a turn. I think every 3 turns, or every 3 rests, basically you'll skip a turn from collecting it, and then you'll collect it the next time, just based on the way that the tavern sort of withdrawal system works. I think every withdrawal, sorry, words are hard. It reduces it by 8 the next time you make a withdrawal. Every rest, it goes up by 6. So basically, 3 out of 4 rests, I think. Something like that. Anyway, sorry, maths are hard. But basically, whenever you need coin, just pull it from the tavern and you're good to go. You don't necessarily have to worry about max minning it, but that's basically what you do. And the money that you get from the tavern will obviously more than cover your costs of operation here while you do this. And you just basically have to rest enough times until your companions are leveled up to level 15. They'll gain a little bit of experience every single turn in the tavern as bouncers. And in game time, it took me 3 months, 21 days, and 13 hours. In real time, it took me 4.5 hours, but that probably could have done, I definitely think it could be done quicker. But yeah, that's essentially it. That's, pretty much. A couple tips for you as well. You'll want to buy and consume alcohol to boost your influence. This will help you accumulate a little bit of influence by increasing your happiness. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing is make sure to produce a specialty dish in the tavern. We covered this earlier, but it's worth mentioning again because it's another way to accumulate money. If we sell these dishes here that I have stock to you, and if we were to sell all this, so 4,000 gold there. So a nice little chunk of change that we've got to start our campaign. And then when I do want to pull my companions out of the tavern, now that they're max level, I'm ready to start my playthrough, I guess. We've got all of this money. Probably the first place I'm going to go is to the Brotherhood training ground and get them some skill books. And then probably I'll go shopping for merchants and see what we can accumulate for weapons and armor, because the crew is weaponless and armorless right now, but still they're level 15, so long as you don't end up in a fight right away, you should be okay. And then you have a little bit of supplies. I've been buying leather, lots of leather in the meantime, just accumulating that. I accumulated a bunch of sharpening oil and strength oil as well, because I figured, what the hell, why not? And yeah, that's essentially it. Yeah, what else did I want to mention? Accumulate potions, oil. Yeah, basically anything that you think you'll need. Initially, when I first started this, before I did the rests as well, you can steal whatever supplies you think you might, because initially I stole as much as I could. I picked up these items thinking that I would need them, but it turned out that the companion that I recruited was actually a vegetarian. Silver server here is a vegetarian, which means he must eat fruit or vegetables every meal. So the chicken and the mutton kind of useless to me. I mean, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, as you're managing the tavern, you'll want to make sure as well that you're stealing their secret recipes and their secret recipes for food and for the brewer. You send a cook and an extra cook and a brewer to steal these recipes. I don't think you'll be able to do this unless you were to move the tavern to Cortia, which is totally unnecessary. It's something you could do, but it's completely unnecessary. Keeping it in Stromcap is the safest thing to do. You won't you won't have to leave Stromcap, so I don't recommend it. But because of that, I don't believe you'll be able to steal the recipes from the Gabby cask here. You just don't have enough prestige to be able to do it. If we assign our cook here and do it for 5 shifts, it's 0%. Target tavern's prestige minus 273%. Professional level plus 30. Number of shifts plus 50. It's still not gonna work. And yeah, anyway. All right, yeah. So that's it. All right, for those of you that stuck around to the end, because this is somewhat of a monotonous. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's sort of fun in a way still, but you know, you're just repeating the same task over and over again. So I mean, it's not super exciting. Once you've got the tavern set up, there's not really anything to do except for end the turns and check the vendors occasionally. So what I was thinking, if you don't want to spend or waste 4.5 hours of your time, then since you stayed all the way to the end of the video, what we'll do is I will leave a link to the save file in the description, and you guys can download it and use the save file. Pretty much nothing has been done in the campaign. I have picked a few things from the pathways. For example, we've got cooperative, trade horses, transport, suppliers, and master and disciples. I mean, usually long distance running is the first one I go for, but just because of the situation, it wasn't necessary. That'll probably be the first thing I pick when I start this campaign, if I start the campaign. And I figured Art of the Forge would be pretty good because we will need to forge armor and weapons for the troop. So I figured an additional 10% increase on those would be good. And then probably Champion Craftsman would be the next one that I pick up. And what did I went for Negotiate with the Crime and Chaos. I think a couple of these were locked because I don't have Artful Dodgers yet. I just felt like being able to negotiate with the guard with a little bit of influence in the bank gives you the ability to spend some of that influence to stay out of trouble if you do end up in trouble with the law. But I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, there's nothing else has really been done. This is the map. This is what I've traversed so far. So if you guys are interested, the only thing is probably the save file will require you to have all of the DLCs. So if you don't have all of the DLCs, I apologize, it may not work. But if you do have them, then it's good to go. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. And have fun, boys. I am actually kind of looking forward to playing around with this. I've got a few different things. I'm going to keep this save file banked so that I can basically start fresh campaigns from right here. And I was thinking we might try and do like a no deaths challenge run with these high level companions, which is probably pretty doable. But anyway, we'll see. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Otto out.